Alrighty, welcome back for another episode of Two Plane Sports. Today is another day, as Brandon likes to say, does not suck. Oklahoma bolsters an already top uh, class in the 2025 class, adds another star at the wide receiver position as if Emmett Jones needs more help and needs more talented receivers. We're not going to tell him no. Adding Nickens is quite the addition. And we're going to talk about his commitment, what it means for Oklahoma. Gosh, the spots are filling up. But before we do, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Apple, Spotify, and TikTok. Everything's linked in the description below. So Oklahoma lands an in-state product in Jaden Nickens, talented player and someone that Emmett Jones has, since being at Oklahoma, comes in and really locks it down, locking the state down. And adding another wide receiver to this class is really impressive. Brandon, what are your thoughts on Nickens and what this means for the 2025 class and just your overall takeaway?
I mean, it's a huge get. The kid is freaky athletic. 6'3", he's going to be 6'3", 190-ish, probably be 200 something by the time he's on a college campus. Very athletic. He can do it all. He's great with the ball in space. He can also run the deep route. He can do literally everything that you want a receiver to do and has great size. He also plays defense and basketball. I think he had 3 interceptions last season. So, the dude is literally just an all-around athlete with great size. He's a great blocker downfield. If I'm Kevin Sperry, and that's my first receiver commit in the class to play with me, and you already know your running back very well, considering they play together, he's going to have a pretty damn solid duo there with those two guys, I think, and especially with Nickens. I think they can be something special. I mean, they can, if they get together, get in the lab, start practicing, start running routes together, which I'm sure they will if that's even legal, since they play with different high schools and shit. I'm sure it doesn't matter at the high school level, but they'll get together sometimes in the summers, I'm sure, and start developing that chemistry and stuff. And by the time they get to campus, they're going to be a lethal duo because Jaden Nickens has everything you want in a receiver. He's also a great blocker. I mean, he's the complete package and a great get because right now 24/7 has him as a top 100 player. I think he's 88 in the class. Composite, he's like 119, so he's only going to keep climbing. The kid's going to be borderline 5-star player, I think, by the time it's serious, and he's going to pick up a lot more offers. So it's good to get in on him this early.
Yeah, I'm with you there, and I think I remember Kevin Sperry posting a picture. It might have been of him, Jaden, and the 2025 tight end Nate Roberts working out not that long ago. I just can't remember. It was definitely Nate and Kevin.
That was Elijah Thomas.
Elijah. All right, my bad. I just remembered it was someone from in-state. But with Jaden, like you said, big addition. 2025 is looking to be pretty special when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. Kamari is going to be a good player. We just don't know what that defensive group is going to look like quite yet, because when you think back to last calendar year, and we were looking forward to the 2024 class, I think we all saw it from the beginning, like the 2024 defensive recruitment was going to be where OU focused. Seems like 2025 is going to be mainly focused on offensive talent, kind of reloading. So when you think, how Lincoln Riley had his every other season he'd go after the best quarterback, it seems like Oklahoma's doing more so groups. Now it's 2023, you go after really good offensive talent. They rebuilt quite a bit, got a 5-star quarterback. I think Kevin Sperry has that potential to be a 5-star quarterback, and you're getting high 4-star guys, potentially some 5-stars when it's all said and done, in wide receivers. And right now you only have 3. You could have a 4th in Isaiah Mosey coming in and joining that group, which would be crazy to think that at some point you're going to have that group of wide receivers committed so early in their recruitment. That doesn't seem normal, even when you look at schools like Georgia and Alabama. It still takes, especially for Alabama, they had a slow start for the last couple of cycles too, and obviously their brand helped, and Nick Saban helps get them up to towards the top of recruiting. But I don't think that's that far off for Oklahoma anymore. Brent Venables and the staff. Emmett Jones was the only guy to hire, and I think that's clearly shown at this point. Rashard Samples is not doing that for Arizona State right now. Malcolm Kelly, I mean, we all appreciate him for what he did as a receiver at Oklahoma, but I don't think you can say that he can. I don't think you can confidently say that he could have put up this kind of recruitment effort that Emmett Jones is doing, because you're not seeing it happen at TCU.
No, you're not. And at the end of the day, it's kind of funny how we all wanted a couple of those guys that you mentioned, and then we get someone else, and then we were like, wait a minute, that's why they get paid the big bucks, and we get paid to basically talk about nothing, or we don't get paid at all. I mean, we're just doing this for fun. But talking about this class, and you just alluded to Isaiah Mosey, but now having three of the four spots that we assume are available already filled up, and hopefully that Mosey jumps on board here relatively soon. It seems like Oklahoma's in a great spot for him considering the connections to the program. I feel like this is totally different. I mean, remember a few years ago when Luther Burden was committed, Jordan Hudson was committed, and Shetron was committed. We're like, oh my gosh, this wide receiver room is full and it's stacked. And one by one, they all kind of bailed for one reason or another. I feel like, and maybe I'm just drinking the Kool-Aid, but I feel like that this receiver class is pretty solid, and I don't think this staff is going to let them go. Obviously, I mean, if something happens, then they would, but I don't feel like that we're going to see all of them leave. It's kind of hard to even imagine that class, none of those kids actually ended up signing with Oklahoma, which is still odd for me to wrap my mind around. It's one thing to lose one, but then to lose all three is kind of crazy. But the way that Emmett Jones is recruiting is fantastic. Can't say enough. And he's already basically at the point where he just needs to maintain relationships and cruise into 2026, and who are kids going into their sophomore year. So, I mean, you're not really looking for commitments at that point quite yet. But looking at Nickens, I mean, he's got basketball offers, full ride scholarship offers to go play basketball, according to ESPN, to play at Oklahoma State, Ole Miss, and Auburn. So he's got Power 5 offers to go play basketball, but that doesn't seem like he's interested. According to ESPN, which I don't really buy them, they say he's 6'5", 200 pounds. It seems like every other recruiting platform has him at about 6'3", 195. But still, being at 6'3", looking at this wide receiver class that Oklahoma's put together, you've got Grayson Harris, who's a little bit smaller at 5'10", Elijah Thomas at 6'1", and then you add Nickens at 6'3". And
maybe
these kids
he's 6'5" in cleats.
He could be.
That's how ESPN does their measurements.
He very well could be. And you add this guy. I mean, and these kids are also going in their junior year. They're 16 years old, and they could very well continue to grow. And so they could, Nickens could be a true 6'5" by the time he shows up on campus. But I can't say enough how well Oklahoma's doing the wide receiver room, this wide receiver class, being there. They'll be going the SEC. That's got to be appealing. And you can't also understate how important Kevin Sperry is to this, to get all these kids committed. And this commitment puts on the 247, keeps Oklahoma in fourth place, but just right behind Oregon. But this is also with Kamari Moore not even being rated. You add him even at a 3-star, they're jumping Oregon. And if Kamari Moore could very well be a 4-star, high-end 4-star, so he could push him up, push Oklahoma up to the Alabama range already. So totally different than the 2024 class.
I think the most fun thing about this, and this is just, it's random, I guess, but it's just cool to me. Like, if Sperry and Nickens become this duo that we're talking about, and we think they can be, maybe even will be, just lighten it up like a Baker and DD type thing, or Baker and CD type thing. I'm talking that kind of connection. They're both Oklahoma kids, and I just think that is, I love that. I think that's cool as shit to win in state, and beat people with Oklahoma kids that are playing for the Oklahoma Sooners. And if Xavier Robinson pans out, that's 3 Oklahoma kids that are just beating the shit out of all of these SEC teams, and that is awesome.
And you really haven't had that kind of connection in state, like, I don't know, recruiting to that level where they're both stars, and that kind of connection that you're talking about probably since Bradford, right? Like, I can't think of anything between Bradford and now where you're like, yeah, the in-state kids are doing it because they've always loved Oklahoma. And it's different. And then obviously, like, recruiting's different now, too. But I think we also haven't hit enough on Nickens, because it's something you brought up right before we started recording. He is a very good blocker. So he's not just a talented receiver. He knows he's aggressive. He kind of, if you look at him, kind of reminds me of George Pickens. Kind of a bully, bigger receiver. So he can be
And
as
their
good as
names
him.
rhyme.
And their names rhyme. If he can be as good as him, that guy's going to be special. Hopefully he doesn't have the same injury issues. He stays on the field, he's going to be a really special talent.
He will be a very special talent. So, at the end of the day, the way that Oklahoma is recruiting, I think it's important for Oklahoma to play well this year. As long as Oklahoma plays well, I feel really good about, these commitments. And Bunnett, I will say, Sperry is an Oklahoma kid technically, but
I'm counting him. All right. I know he's a Texas kid, or whatever, but he lives in Oklahoma. He's going to finish his high school career in Oklahoma. 2 years is enough time to transition. Yeah,
that is true. So overall, as you say, it does not suck.
Doesn't suck.
This 2025 class is on fire. I mean, 2024 is rolling as well, but definitely a good day today. So, but that's all I've got. Unless you guys have anything else. All right, Brandon.
Jaden Nickens thoughts, boys. Yep, it doesn't suck. Just talking about Jaden Nickens. Talk about Jose's name, be a nerd on this show. Love to do that shit. Yeah, there we go.
Jose, did you know?
No, I didn't even notice till just now.
Perfect. Yeah. All right. Well, you made it this far. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Apple, Spotify, and TikTok. Everything's linked in the description below. And I forgot to mention this in the beginning of the video, but we go live every Tuesday evening. We're switching our live stream start time to 8:30. Brandon is making us move it back just because he just felt like it. So
yeah, I just felt like it.
Yeah. But anyway, so be sure to catch us at 8:30. Turn the notification bell on Tuesday so you can see us go live. Thanks, guys.